Okay, the next step is I'm going to create some grids. Typically they're used to locate structural components, and typically they're drawn on the site floor plan here. I just want to show you that if the reason I did the levels first is if I do that and then create the grid lines will run all the way through all the levels that are in my project, which is what I want to happen. So if I go in here, I'm going from the bottom to the top, and I'm going to say from there to there is a grid. Notice that it increments. I'm not caring about the dimensions at the moment. I'm going to simply put in maybe 4 of these. I'm just going from bottom to top. Then I'm going to go from left to right, and I'm doing it within the I'll just do two of these. I'm doing it within the area defined by these objects, which are the elevation cameras, so that I know that anything I draw in this area will automatically be represented as an elevation in the elevation views. I haven't got anything there yet, but I'm just showing you how it where I would draw in the project. A couple of things about the grids is don't be alarmed if you change the label on the grid. Revit will try and steer you in the right direction. So if you try and do something like give the label a name that already exists, it'll tell you it's already in use and you need a unique name. Just say cancel. There would be nothing to stop me from, say, taking that label and changing it to an A, or that and changing it to a B. And if I'd done that first and then copied, it would increment A, B, C, D and all the rest of it. Don't worry about this at the moment. That's the project north arrow and the survey location point, but you'll see where that comes into play later on. Similar to the levels, you notice that I've got this option of saying I want the grids at one end of the line or not. I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I want. I don't want to start by giving you too many dimensions. But now that once you've got this, then I want to point out that there's a couple of things about the grids that are important. First thing is you see that I can pick a grid and just move it, and it shows me the dimensions there. If I want to not be able to move something, so for example, thinking of this building, which we're going to do a classroom, maybe I want that location to always stay stationary. What I would do is I would pick this grid line and pick the grid line, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the option that lets me lock it. So if I'm looking for or the pin command. So when I do that, you'll see that this pin item appears. That means that now if I grab on this and try and pull it, I can't because it's locked. So if I also go to this one and lock it, that means that it's fixed. These are now fixed in place, unless of course somebody picks it, unlocks it, unpins it I should say, and then moves it. But these are now not going to be moving. If I pick something that isn't pinned, you see that the temporary dimensions show, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to say something like 20 feet and enter. I can pick on this and change that to 20 feet. Let's make that 40. Oh, now so why did I lose control over it? The rule is that you pick the object that you want to move, you pick the dimension, and what I had said was, I think let's say 12 feet. So if I want to have full control over this, I pick the object that I'm going to move, then I pick the dimension, and I put in the value that I want. Right? So if I pick, put in 12, or if I pick, the other way I can do this is just to drag and watch the values on the temporary dimension. If you're zoomed in closely, then the intervals will change at smaller intervals, so I might see like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch if I'm zoomed in closely. If I'm zoomed out further, you notice that here I'm only getting 6-inch increments on my movement, so I'm going to change this and make this maybe 30 feet, something like that. So now I'm just going to clean this up by dragging that over here and picking and dragging that up here. So that's basically the outline of my grid that I want you to have. I'm going to do one more thing just to finish this off, which is that I'm going to go to the annotate and I'm going to put in, and Revit uses align dimensions more than any other dimensions. And what I'm going to do is pick first line, second grid line, third, fourth, and then out in space where I want the alignment to be for my dimension string. And then I'm going to do the same down here, just so that visually you've got a readout of what the size is there. The other benefit of this is that you saw before that I messed up moving this because I picked on a temporary dimension and the wrong thing moved. Well, you can't always be sure where the temporary dimensions are going to show up until such time as you put a dimension in the drawing. So now you see if I pick on this, I could go up here and say, well, I want that to be 30 feet, right? Or I want it to be 45 feet. But putting a few dimensions in will let me know exactly where I can go to change the dimension. Let's put this back to 40. And I'm ready to work on my project.